here, and I'm back with another video. So today we are making the Rise Restaurant and Lounge in San Myshuno. This is on the penthouse lot where the Stargazer Lounge is originally, and I decided to pick that lot for a couple of reasons, but mainly because I personally feel like the Stargazer Lounge is a little bit on the boring side. No shade to the Sims or anybody like that, because I love a lot of their builds that are in game by default, but I felt like the Stargazer Lounge could definitely use a bit of a facelift and a little bit of flair, just because I feel like there wasn't much to do there. You just kind of go and, you know, you have this beautiful cityscape, but there's not much to do on the lot itself. And also I felt like this building was the highest as far as like penthouses, with consideration to the size of the lot. I just felt like it was absolutely perfect to build it here, and I didn't want to move anyone out of their residential lots on the other penthouses. So this was the one that was tallest, it was widest, and no one lived there, so you know, it just worked to use an existing lounge to do something that's kind of like a lounge. Now, I would have left it as a lounge, but lately, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been doing a good deal of my builds as, quote, restaurants. And the reason why I do that, not necessarily because I feel like we need more restaurants. I just want to be able to own certain buildings that I put together, and also I like the idea of having staff, because when you go somewhere, the bartender isn't the only staff. I mean, there's people that typically greet you or people you can ask questions to. They're usually people that cook and prepare the food. So I really wanted the staffing aspect, and I feel like we're really lacking that. I remember in The Sims 3 with Island Paradise, or Isla Paradiso, I hope I said that right. I love the fact that you could own resorts and you were able to have staff. There were several people there that you could dress in a specific uniform, and it just felt like you were actually going to a public lot instead of going to this lot where there's only one obscure person and they're only serving drinks. I don't know, it just takes away a little bit of the realism for me. But enough about my rant. We're gonna talk about the build now. So yeah, I love the way this turned out. My main objective with this build is to make it look like a part of the existing building, but since the existing building is essentially a rectangle, to add pieces that made it more exciting, that made it stand out, that made it worth your while to actually go up there and visit. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy this. Here I am just picking out certain pieces of furniture that's required for a lounge. I do end up changing it to a restaurant like I stated before, but the game would not let me save until I picked out those items, which was absolutely crazy, but I guess. But usually with other lots, they allow you to save even if the venue isn't complete, and for some reason I could not do that with this build. So I'm just into the bathrooms now. On larger builds like these, I like to make sure that there are at least 2 bathroom locations for your sim. So there's one upstairs when you first enter past like the foyer, and then there's one downstairs underneath the dining area. So yeah, how are you guys doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing great. I've had a bit of an interesting week. So last week I went out with my boyfriend and we went to the movies. Well, we were supposed to go to this place called Main Event, which is basically like a Dave & Buster's with different games and like pool tables and dining and laser tag and all of that jazz. but the line was so long. Like, it was ridiculous, and I knew I did not want to wait in that line. So the place we went to, it had a movie theater right upstairs, and we decided to go to the movies since we kind of figured the wait would be a little bit quicker. And there was a good deal of people upstairs, but it wasn't nearly as bad as what was happening downstairs. And so we're watching a movie, and I broke my tooth. I broke my tooth while eating popcorn because there was a kernel that wasn't popped all the way. I know, crazy. Like, what are the odds that that would actually happen? So anyway, I've had to go to the dentist and, you know, have them look at it and see what it can do. But anyway, that kind of pushed back the time that I wanted to spend on doing a voiceover and talking to you guys. So I'm sorry this video is late. I'm feeling a lot better. And yeah, I don't know, random. I just thought I would share that with you guys because I planned on sharing this video earlier this week, but with that happening and then, you know, them working on my tooth or whatever, it kind of made it a little bit harder for me to do a voiceover. Sorry about that. That was my alarm, which I don't understand why it's going off because my phone is on silent. Anywho, if you guys noticed, this video is 30 plus minutes. I'm sorry it's so long, but this was a large build and I felt like breaking it up in 2 parts wasn't necessary, since it is going to be really close to the 30-minute mark. So I hope you guys will enjoy and just watch the whole thing. This build is available on the gallery, and I will have all of that information linked in the description bar below. Back to the build. I'm in the bar area where you dine, and I love these floating shelves. I think they came with, I can't remember. I think they came with either City Living or Get Together or Dino. I'm so sorry. I should really write these things down, but I love them. I feel like it adds a little bit of, like, I don't know, a little bit of elegance, but it's not too elegant where it just feels, you know, super duper fancy, but elegant in the sense that this is more of an upscale venue. And I'm just using these tables and chairs. I'm pretty sure those tables came with City Living. Oh gosh, I know I'm so terrible at this. I'm sorry guys, correct me if I'm wrong. But I love those glass tables and the white chairs. I really wanted the colors for this build to be really consistent with the building below. So you will see a lot of grays in this building, and you will see a good heap of blues in this building, just trying to keep it consistent with the building below. Now, this is perhaps, well, all of it's my favorite part. Like, I don't know, I can't choose, but I really love that lower deck that we just passed by, and you'll see what we do with it a little bit later on. And I'm just adding in a bunch of windows and doors. I definitely wanted this building to stand out, which is why I chose those City Living windows initially. But I do change them. They're still the City Living windows, but I make sure that the swatch is a little bit more simplified because it started to look like a big spider web, and I was not feeling that. So you're going to see me go through a couple of different changes with the windows, but I eventually come back to those large windows just in a different, more simplified swatch. So yeah. Now, this building gave me a hard time when it came to building on that back exterior wall, because it won't let you make any changes, quote, outside of the apartment lot. So the tricky thing with like penthouses is that you can build all the way to the edge. Unlike regular lots where you have that one tile from the edge where you can't put anything on, like building wise, like fences or walls and things like that. But with an apartment or a penthouse lot, you only have that space that they say you can fit, and you can bring it out to the edge, but that's it. So it would not let me make any changes from the outside. Back to that lower deck area, I love it. I designated the spot to dance because I was looking around And with the plans that I had and the space that was quickly filling up, I knew I wouldn't have a proper place for the Sims to dance. So I love, love, love that area. And back to the dining space, kind of like on that upper deck. Just adding some of the essentials, and pretty much downstairs is where we have the kitchen. And also I wanted the option to do karaoke, because karaoke is a fun thing to do. Why not? And I also wanted to have some space for bubble blowing. I don't partake in bubble blowing, but your Sims might. And this area here with the piano is kind of more of like the whole loungy feel, where you can listen to a little bit of jazz or whatever piano player is playing. And yeah, you're gonna see me kind of flip back and forth from area to area. That's just how I build, guys, and I hope it's not hard for you guys to watch. The way my mind goes, I try to make it easy for people to you know, view and things like that. But my imagination, once it's activated, I just want to go ham. Like I just want to do everything at once. So that's why you'll see me bouncing back and forth. And also for me personally, it helps me to see how the build is going to come together as a whole, opposed to compartmentalizing certain aspects and the other aspects end up being underwhelming, because I focus so much attention on one area at a time. I don't consider how it's all going to look as a whole. So yeah, I'm sorry. I hope this isn't too hard for you guys to view. I love this pool. I wish we had round pools. I miss that so much from The Sims 3. You guys just don't even know. I miss round pools so much. And it's kind of hard getting something that looks more organic and more like natural when you have to work with all of these angles. But fortunately, we do have these rocks where we can kind of camouflage the edges of the pool and make it look a little less jagged and a little more round and natural. And at the moment, I'm just adding in a bunch of greenery and some of the pool objects. I wanted there to be kind of like a misty kind of fog type deal with the pool. I just thought that added just a little bit of a look to the pool. It was definitely a look. And this area here to the far corner, it's just like a little chill spot. You know, if there's just too much going on for you everywhere else, you can just come here and your Sims can have a conversation that you can actually hear because it's a little bit more quiet. You can get a little bit closer to the view of the city. You know, it's just a nice little chill space. And I wanted to accentuate that with the bamboo trees because I love bamboo. I have a bamboo plant. They're very relaxing and it's calming. So that's what I wanted to convey in that space. Over here where the bubble blowers will be, I decided to put them outside. I was initially going to put it in that space where I'm building the second set of restrooms. However, it was not going to be enough, and I knew that I wanted to have more than one bubble blower. So I decided to put a restroom there. I felt like it was convenient because it would be awfully annoying to have to constantly go upstairs every time you wanted to use the restroom. So yeah. I love it, love it, love it. And I just had so much fun. I also wanted there to be an employee restroom, you know, in case the chef had to step out and, you know, use the restroom. They won't be too far from their workspace, and the employees won't have to go in the public restroom, like in their uniforms. I don't know, I just feel like, with restaurants, they should have, you know, a separate little space for them to do their business because there's just too many people and you're handling food, and I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like that, but I wanted to make sure they had their own space. And in this kitchen, I just wanted to make sure all of the amenities that were needed was there, that is needed was there. So I've realized that I'll get to that point later when we hop back in the kitchen. Back to the front. This is where you enter. So I actually took the elevator to the second level instead of the first level because I knew that I wanted there to be like this grand entrance where you walk in and you can look out, and there's all this stuff down there, like all of this, like, you know, dining and swimming and just all of this stuff was out there. I didn't want everything to be bam in your face when you got there. I felt like this lot was too beautiful to just rush with your Sims experience. I wanted them to really take in the view before they got in. So that's why I put the elevator on the second level and not everything on one floor. So yeah, back in the lounge, just adding in a couple of what do you call those things? Curtains, window coverings, and I wanted this room to just feel really light, really airy, really, I don't know, kind of fancy, a little exclusive. Like when I think of like a luxury lounge, I think of nice, clean, simplistic, pristine, you know, and I don't know, I feel like a lot of the white tones that I used in here and a little bit of the gold with the pendant lights hanging, it just really conveyed that. It just really, to me, made it feel like, you know, your Sims are really, you know, just doing something exclusive. I don't know. I'm not a big clubber, but I can appreciate great design. And I just love the way a lot of these exclusive lounges and clubs and things look, because it feels like people really thought about how everything was going to come together as a whole. So yeah. Back to the build, I'm just trying to make sure that there are plenty of entrances to the rooms. I didn't want everyone to have to be forced to go one way since this is such a large lot. I didn't want Sims to just be jumbled and cluttered in one space, which we all know that can happen when you don't have enough walkway, you don't have enough doors and things like that. So yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure there was plenty of space for your Sims to move about. I'm in the reception area now. Originally in this space, I wanted to go with more like an orangey and black theme. I don't know, I just felt like that was a nice little color combination, because the orange that I wanted to use, it wasn't like a bright orange, it was more kind of like a blood orange. But I'll explain why I changed this color scheme once we get there. But yeah, just jazzing up the entryway and you know, just making it nice, making it, you know, feel like this was actually thought about, because basically it's a huge hallway. It really is, and I didn't want to put too much clutter where it felt really jumbled. I wanted to put enough furniture to where your Sims can come and sit down. However, this is not the main event of the lot. Here I am, just adding in some more doors, adding in some more decor with the rugs, but those go away. I opt for carpet because I don't know, I love the rugs, but they just weren't working for me, so I opt for carpet. And, you know, just to add a little bit more dimension to the room because it was really dark. So I just decided to use that carpet to introduce a bit of color into the room. And I love those little triangle tables or pyramid tables that are stacked opposite of each other. And I believe that actually came with the base game. It's definitely one of my favorite accent tables. Definitely. And yep, just going back in, doing a lot of the little window shopping fencing, because I feel like running that along two different floor tiles, it just really creates that separation that you don't get if you don't finish it off. And I'm really big on branding in my commercial lots. If you guys have not noticed, um, I've always been a creative person. I've always been drawing pretty much my whole life, or at least as far as I can remember. And I actually went to school and got my degree in graphic design. So when I think of like commercial lots, I'm always thinking about the branding, because that's how it is in real life. You're always going to see the logo repeated several times, because branding, it helps to make your particular lot stands out from other particular lots that basically do the same thing. You know, if you look at a lot of these fast food places that serve essentially the same food, but you recognize them as individuals because of their logo and because of the branding that they have created. So I don't know, that's just how I'm always thinking when I'm creating commercial builds. I'm just thinking branding, and what type of combinations of these signs I can put together to make this building an individual. Of course, we have a limited amount of those signages, those signs, but the way you can kind of put them together, you can individualize them, the lots that is, if you just work on your combos. So anyway, back working on the pool, I love that darker color that I changed to. It makes it look a little bit more natural. And this is gonna sound weird, but although it's a darker color and you would think that it would make the pool kind of recede, I actually think it makes it stand out, because it's not that kind of blue that's on the windows. And at nighttime, it is awesome. So I'm adding in those pillars that came with City Living, and in a lot of my commercial builds, especially, I like to use a lot of the existing elements, and this goes back to what I said. I love a lot of the builds that are in the game by default, because I feel like they are indigenous to the area around them. So those pillars were originally at the Stargazer. So yeah, I definitely wanted to bring that back and make sure I kept that, because it was there originally and I thought they looked amazing. Now, I'll talk about those pillars a little bit later on when I get to them. I hope I'm not saying this and then I forget to talk about it, because I just get so excited and I just want to share with you guys. So anyway, in the bathroom, so in the female bathroom, there's like this large window looking out to the city. Now don't worry, your Sims won't be exposed. I mean, because one, no one is up that high, and two, the outside of the window is darker, so it's harder to see in. But I just felt like that was just such a beautiful view, and I didn't want to pass up that opportunity and not put a window there, so I just went for it. I put it there. And I mimicked the same thing in the men's bathroom. Even though it's not looking over into the city, it's definitely looking over that banister to the downstairs, which can also be an interesting view. And I'm adding in these kind of rugged bushes. I'm not sure what pack it's from. Maybe base game, maybe get together, I'm not sure. And at this point, I'm just adding in a good deal of greenery. I originally wanted to call this place something along the lines of like Paradise of Garden, or Garden of Eden, or something like that, because it's so high up. Your Sims actually feel like they can touch the clouds. So I was just thinking something like celestial or heavenly, which is why I opted to use a lot of white furniture, coupled with a lot of greenery, because I don't know, I just felt like it was very light. It was very, I don't know, it was very pristine, very, along those lines. But I ended up going with Rise because, I don't know, I just liked it. It had a nice ring to it. None of the other names that I was trying to use stuck. And, I don't know, it was just a bop. It was a bop. It was a bop. And here I decided to add in a couple of, little additions of water. I love water. I love the water and I love the sky. And anytime that I can combine those two things together, it's a good deal. So what I did, I added in an extra 1x2 block on the back where the kitchen is, and there is like a see-through window that came with Get to Work, where you can actually see the chefs in there. And anytime a place lets you see the chefs cook, you know the food is going to be good. That's what I think, because anytime a place is like dirty or sketchy, you know, they're trying to hide stuff. But when people want you to see what they're doing and they're inviting you to get that extra part of the experience, you know your food is about to be good, okay? So, I'm so silly. Back in the build, I'm just finishing off. What was really annoying was that every time I made a simple little change to that half wall that runs along the building, the whole thing would just turn back to drywall, and it was so annoying. But you know, it wasn't a biggie. It was just annoying to have to constantly redo something that you already done, you know. So yeah, I'm just adding in a bunch of finishes and making sure that all of the colors look well together. I moved that staircase over a tile because pretty much I couldn't add the freeze, I think that's what it's called, on that one little bit that was touching the stairs, so I moved it over just so the whole thing could be complete. And here I am, like I said, simplifying those windows a great bit. Now, the reason why I was laughing earlier when I was talking about those pillars is because I didn't realize that those pillars had so many different swatches. Now, at first, I was going to make the pillars purple because I feel like that purple color is really, it's inviting to a lot of different people. It's inviting to females, males, you know, whatever. I feel like the purple is such an inviting color to all types of people. But I went with the blue because of the branding. Now those signs that I used, they didn't have a purple swatch or a swatch with a purple light. So that's why I ended up going with the blue. Don't get me wrong, I love blue, but originally I wanted those to be purple. But it all worked out because all of the windows have that blue tinge to it, and I don't know, it all worked out in the end. Again, just adding in a bit of branding and polishing everything up, making sure it looks all nice and copacetic. And I love those little bathroom decals, and I think they actually came with the base game, and I just love using them in commercialized, if you haven't been able to tell already. And I'm finishing off the tables in the dining area with those tea lights that came with City Living, and the little table menu that came with Dine Out. So yeah, guys, I really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave me a lovely comment below letting me know what you want to see next. I'm working on some other builds which will hopefully be out soon. I just have to edit them down and do the voiceover and things like that. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you, and you really are the real MVP, because like I said, this video is a little bit over the 30-minute mark, but I think it's worth it. I didn't want to break this up because I felt like it wasn't that bad. I watch videos that are like 30 minutes. Oh, I'm so sorry, but this is my favorite part. Yes, honey. Yes. So, I felt like the area with the dance floor and the DJ booth, I felt like it was a little too exposed. And it was just wide open. There's no way you can close the windows in case it got too windy or too cold. So I used those awnings that came with Get Together, and I love them. And I was able to trick them to be on the outside of the building because I put up the wall, as you saw, and I flipped them around. So it's still being technically recognized as being in part of the building. But when I flipped them, it put it on the outside, and you guys, that just gave me life. And it gave me so much life. And yeah, I'm just adding in the public speakers. In the lounge area, I think it's jazz, and other parts I think it's electronica, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Although there is a DJ area downstairs, you know, there is still that music. So anyway, guys, this video is going to wrap up in just a few, and we're going to hop into the screenshots. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys. bye.